how's life?
They were good. The scrim was really fun. It seems that the 8v8 format is much more interesting than the 16v16. Uh,
How do I fix that? I don't know how to, like, you have to like permit it, I guess. Okay, there, Vengeance will get it. Okay, so give me a little bit more of like your experiences as to
release and look at the amount of effort that actually went into it. Look at how little of a shit they gave about RSP. How little of a shit they gave about tank customization. Like all these features, how little of a shit they gave. Like they're yes, sure, it updates and they send out an update and then it's like this bare bones, like someone did it over their lunch break, like in a half hour, like just this complete lack of, thoroughness that you can see in other games. Like it's very jarring, and I keep saying this on my stream, to go play like Modern Warfare, and I know that game has problems, but it's really jarring to play a game like that and see how polished it is, and then come back to Battlefield 5 and just experience all these glitches that are still here. And it's just, there's no confidence in the developers, I don't think, by the player base. And
yeah, I just played 3 days of the new Modern Warfare Warzone, and then I come back yesterday and I'm already getting tilted because of like team balancing or hackers, and
or
all
like
those
you can't
weird
because of the friends. Like we've had an awesome community with all the Battlefielders that we know, all the streamers. I think we all play it together and to have fun because this is the game that we met each other on. But I think a significant number of us are moving to other games like Modern Warfare, especially for Warzone.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about Warzone and any issues, and because I liked it, man. I thought it was really well done. There's some things I might want it to change a little bit, but I mean the fact that it's so difficult to get a win, it's very rewarding when you actually do get a win. And it seems like all the people I have seen that have got a win haven't cheesed it. Like they actually worked their asses off to get to that point.
I don't think you really can cheese it.
You can.
Well, you can. It's up for debate whether thermals is cheesing or not.
That's.
But do you want to get into Warzone, or we can? Yeah, we can.
Well, let's discuss a little bit more. Let's just stay on BF5 for now, and then we'll at the second half of the show we'll talk about all about Call of Duty and everything, and get your opinions on that. But let's stay on Battlefield 5. So now we have the 6.2. All right, I've been gone for a couple days, so I'm like forgetting things. What do they do? Report, and your stats are being regenerated. But yesterday I hopped back in, and I still can't get a fetched report.
Oh,
and
really?
I'm like, yeah, it was very rare though. But
I mean, that's part of the pattern that I'm talking about. Like, how long have we seen could not fetch your report? And
the beginning of the game almost.
Right, beginning of the game, and it's like, yeah, we know about it. Is it even on their Trello? I don't know. Like,
it is. It was. But not till recently.
It's just, I get this huge like no one cares vibe from that company, or they care, but someone up high is like, no, it doesn't matter. Like you have more priorities for this thing, like these microtransactions or this or that. Like, we don't know whether what was his name?
Yeah,
I don't know his real name.
I don't know his real name either, but
he left, and it was pretty clear that he had creative differences, and it was sort of his hands were tied. He was unable to, he didn't want to change the TTK drastically, but someone, forced his hand, and he apparently left over that.
Yeah, it appears there was a lot of infighting, and even from those what do you call the glass door reviews? Is that what those were?
Oh, yes. And everyone wrote those off as troll reviews and whatever, but it's increasingly obvious that they're actually true.
Yeah. There's a lot. Dave Sterling, that's what his name was.
Dave Sterling, yeah. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, so there's a lot of infighting. Yeah, it just, I mean, it probably all happened way before they released that first trailer for Battlefield 5. And then the audience sees it for the first time and like, what the fuck is this? Like, is this World War II? Because after the whole entire thing, there's no mention of World War II. Like, there's some like hints of it, but we had no idea what we just saw, kind of thing.
Right.
And the marketing was just abysmal for this game.
I mean, thank God we had Trevor Noah, a Battlefield veteran, to tell us all about it.
Yeah. Thank you for consistently playing Battlefield 5 with us and being with the community. Who are we joking here? Okay. So 6.2 comes out, right? It seems fine. There's some weird talks. We had the Battlefield show roundtable. We had 9 people. You were on there as well. And we discussed everything about 6.2, all the different opinions from there. That show was insane. If you guys haven't watched it, it was cool. Nuts. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. It was kind of off the wall. Let's just do it, you know? And it ended up being really fun. But we talked about a crap ton of issues. And, you know, I had KHT on there, and he has all his own take. Using facts from their hit or hit generator or whatever thing that they developed.
Yeah. It's honestly so entertaining to have DICE come out with their announcement about, okay, here's what we changed. Here's, you know, all the, you know, weapon balance changes, and you know, we fixed it. We did a great job, guys. And then KHT comes out with his full analysis of everything using like a fully fledged simulator that like a hit radar, whatever it's called.
It's got hit radar. That's right.
And it's just it destroys them. It's like completely different from what they said happened, and then, you know, it's illuminating, honestly.
I couldn't believe about the SMGs, or like the slow rate of fire SMGs are technically like worse when it comes to engagement distances, which is mind bending.
Yeah, he was talking about how the recoil values are the same as before, but the BTKs were changed, which just throws everything into chaos, because the recoil values and the BTKs were balanced intentionally together. And it's, again, it fits this pattern at this company of just like someone walks in and is like, well, what? Okay, they're pissed about the TTK. Okay, let's just
exactly.
What do we got? We got the TTK from, all right, let's do this, and then let's do this. Oh yeah, but what about, you know, what happened in December? Oh no, it's fine. It's gonna be fine, guys. Like, it's just this vibe that you get from them. It's really sad.
Yeah, I man, if we ever like met up with them, had like discussions, I bet you all the things we talked about on all the Battlefield shows and on that round table was like, that's exactly what we were thinking. I mean, I would put my bottom dollar on that. I was like, wow, you guys just are maybe completely out of touch with the community right now, and maybe you should play the game a little bit more to get a better vibe. Or I don't know. Sure. What do you think the developers, or what do you think competent developers do? Do they think they actually play the game a lot, or go off of what they created when it comes to numbers and stuff?
So from what I've seen, I mean, there's a lot of people involved here. There's community managers who are often, you know, they're the messengers, right? There's developers, then there's the executives who are at DICE. Apparently they have these vision people who are, you know, dictating the vision of the game. Now, to say that there's a vision for Battlefield 5 is somewhat laughable right now. But for the developers, at least what it seems from the Glassdoor reviews and such, there's actually a lot of talented people there, but they've just been leaving because no one up high cares about what their thoughts are. And then you get, let's see, then you get complete miscommunication between the developers and the community managers, whose job is to be the face of the game. And you get community managers telling us that, you know, oh, RSP is like fully fledged with all these features. And I'm sorry, what? Have you tried it? Like, we can't even make a title.
Can't switch your teams. Can't have a hardcore mode, which I don't really care for, but a lot of people care about hardcore mode. And
I think I went on a tangent. I forgot your original question.
Yeah, it's just we were talking about RSP, and like we're also talking about what developers should do.
Or what they should do
to make it better. Should they play the game more? Should they maybe hold on to a direction and kind of go for it, like Unity kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah. I think it's just the company is mismanaged. I think they know what they
Could
need to
be.
do. Like developers, like the people in the developer role of that company, like I I think they know what they're doing. They just can't. So you
Like
get
the
into situations like Tigger leaving. Uh,
yeah.
you get a developer. There was someone who tweeted, um, "Oh well, what was it? This guy who was in a Slack channel and had a lot of criticisms about uh, this feature or this gameplay or whatever." And oh well, hey man, you can't say that because the guy who designed it's like in this channel and he's gonna feel bad. Like what? Like are we like in the
Oh, you
business
can't
of making everyone
criticize.
feel good here, or are we trying to create a product that's gonna make money?
Well, did they make a product that created money? What do you
I
think?
mean, relative to what they could have, I don't think so. I think EA has just completely put all their priorities into, Apex and other games and sort of abandoned funding in general for Battlefield. If you saw there was some tweet or some report about how, they're restructuring funds to like mostly go into other games like Apex and, Battlefield sort of taking a backseat.
I can see that. I mean, it kind of seems that the passionate ones, I feel like there's a lot of passionate people working for the well, let's just say Battlefront 2, the Star Wars game. Yeah, someone
Yeah,
just brought that up right now. It's like
very true, very
there
true.
are some passionate motherfuckers over there at Battlefront. They want to make things that possibly they couldn't make before. And we got like
Mhm.
Ewoks running around with trumpets and shit, throwing stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
some nutty things that, like, man, this is fun. Like it looks fun.
Well, it's because
And
it's right. It's made by people who love it.
yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing that for Battlefield 5. I'm seeing
And yeah,
like,
I don't
let's
want
fix
to.
this issue we started. Like that's what I'm
Yeah,
seeing.
I don't want to make any assumptions on the developers because, like I said, I don't know what's
We don't
happening at
know them.
Dice.
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't
We
know
don't
anything,
know.
and that's part of the problem. Is there's really no picture of what's happening there. Uh, so for that situation in Battlefield or yeah, Battlefront 2 that you're talking about, um, the people who love the game and are just like super passionate are allowed to realize their visions. And it seems like there's a lot more restriction in Battlefield 5. Like you may have the same developers who were in Battlefield 5 who like are really into World War II and they really love the history of it and they
Oh,
want to
absolutely.
give all the authenticity and all this and they have all these great ideas. And then someone upstairs like, no, it's not part of the vision.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the vision is, but it's
There
just not.
there was many visions, I'm pretty sure.
Or
I've
the
talked
vision
to
changes every week. Yeah.
right, yeah. It's not consistent. That just goes with management, I think. I mean, look what happened to Anthem. I mean,
What did
straight
happen
up.
to Anthem? I didn't follow it.
Yeah, Anthem had a real specific vision. And it all was in that Kotaku article, and it sounded really great on paper, but then people management, I guess, just it couldn't actually feasibly make that into a game, and so they went into a different direction. But there was no time. Like we were ready to like
Uh,
renounce the game, and now we have to
mm,
scramble to fix everything, and that's what ended up happening. But we've just recently heard that they're gonna have an Anthem Part 2, and maybe they're gonna get those passionate people back and to make something that they wanted to make, given now that they have more time. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for and thinking that's what Dice is trying to do with the next Battlefield game right now. Is but I don't know. I don't know how that is right now with the
yeah.
whole coronavirus stuff. Everything is slowed down, and my passion for playing the game, knowing that people at Dice are not fully working on the game because everything has to be done remotely, like they can't go to work and stuff.
Mhm.
The amount of
Yeah.
stuff we're gonna get is gonna be less and less for the next few months.
Yeah, I mean, my expectations on updates from DICE have plummeted. I don't have any expectations. Like, if they give us something, then that's awesome. I'll check it out. But yeah, you're totally right that coronavirus is, as much as it's a meme online, it's actually seriously affecting, economies now and businesses. So, uh, yeah, like
True.
if DICE has to work remotely, I don't know if they need to be on site to do things, or they have their laptops. I don't know how it works, but
Yeah.
in terms of the next Battlefield, we don't know if they've like reallocated employees to go work on that, and just
Yeah, we don't
Battlefield
know.
5 is now run by some skeleton crew. Because it certainly appears that Battlefield 5 is run by a skeleton crew.
It may
And
appear.
if it's not, then I don't want to insult them, but it's kind of just it looks like it is based on how much they've output. Like all these tier skips is all they come up with.
Yeah,
That's
every
not
week now.
very inspiring.
No. I feel like that could be a separate thing instead of like having that as the weekly thing. That seems to be like a shortcut. But now you're taking
Yeah.
over something that, hey, this should be weekly rewards. This shouldn't be a reward. This should be like a separate thing you can earn on the side. Just for
And the
logging
armory in
in or something.
general, going back to that pattern that I'm talking about, the armory in general has, for the entire lifespan of the game, been so bare bones. Like occasionally there's a unique package out with unique skins, but it's always these same skins on these same default guns.
Yeah.
That, has there ever been a ZK skin ever? Or
don't know. I think
like
maybe like a banana skin or something. I think banana peel stuff. I don't know.
But something that I was seeing on Reddit, or someone was talking about, monetization in Battlefield 5, and DICE puts priority on the monetization, but then the monetization in the armory is not successful at all because they're barely outputting anything unique in there. I just look at Modern Warfare, as much as I hate to be sucking that game's dick right now on this show. Like their store is fantastic. Like it's a little expensive, but it's fantastic.
It's insane.
There's all these different packs of unique, like interesting skins for both the characters and the guns, and it's constantly rotating, constantly changing with new interesting material. And it's a little pricey, and I'm not saying like everyone should be buying it, but it's
like,
something.
Yeah. It's something cool, yeah. The
And you
Tamagotchi
compare
stuff,
that,
yeah.
you
Whatever.
compare that to like whatever they do, like this green stripe skin that they just copy paste onto all the default guns, and they're like, all right, that's going to be what's available for you to buy this entire week. Because, it says the armory's on cooldown for like 6 days, whatever.
Yeah,
It's not inspiring.
Yeah, it's pretty lame in my opinion. We had a question come up earlier in the show. If you guys want to ask any questions for me or Deltara, you can use the channel points or donate to the channel to support the Battlefield show, and we'll answer your questions. Earlier, we had one from, I think, Glaze. I forget the last part of your name there. Is Battlefield 1 better than BF5? I mean, it's a very generalistic subject, but I mean, just
Depends
from
on the category.
Yeah, it depends on the category, but like overall, if I'm gonna weigh out everything, it would be tough. It would have to be a pretty good analysis, but I think right now, just with what we have, I think BF1 just has more tools, more things, better visuals, audio. I think overall, if I were to put in a point system, BF1 would have the lead a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah,
Deltara?
I have to agree. So I think the main conflict that we talk about between in this community between BF1 and BF5 is the gunplay. And I think that Battlefield 5 gunplay is superior, or was, and 6.2 is kind of whatever, mostly there. But the maps in BF1 are really great. The maps in BF5 are kind of They're a couple good ones, but the whole I know immersion's a meme, but the aesthetics and immersion in Battlefield 1 are just so excellent. The marketing of Battlefield 1 was insane. Like when that trailer came out and it's the Seven Nation Army thing, and World War 1 was, what was it? It was Infinite Warfare was the other game that was coming out that year, I think.
Yeah.
And so you had Infinite Warfare coming out, yet another future bullshit game, and everyone's like, lol. And then you got BF1 comes out, and they're like World War 1. It's never been done before, like AAA quality. Like, they nailed that release. They nailed that whole marketing aspect. There were problems with the game, but then they fixed them. And it felt like there was a full team behind that game, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
BF1 was the first game I got serious in. Like, I tried to get good, so to speak.
Yeah.
It felt like this was a game I paid, what, $60 for? Okay, I'm getting a $60 quality game. This game, Battlefield 5, still feels like we're in beta testing.
Yeah, the whole environment feels like a testing environment.
Yeah.
Alpha,
And speaking of
beta,
that,
community testing, yeah, all that.
speaking of that, we're talking about the CTE, right? In BF1,
Yeah.
CTE was still alive and well. BF5, no one cares.
Yeah, they completely shut it off. And then there was no plans, and there will never be plans for Battlefield 5 CTE, which that's another clue telling me that they have moved on to another project that's not Battlefield 5. It really feels like it, you know.
The community managers never have anything to report.
Yeah, it's hard for them to get. They ask, but they never get feedback, or they're not ready to announce certain things. That goes into a whole like confidence thing, for sure, for Battlefield 5, and I totally agree with that.
And it seems like there's miscommunications. Like
miscommunications, yeah.
Like with that audio thing, you're talking about like this random audio dude who probably hasn't worked on the audio system for a while. It just comes in, it's like, oh, yeah, this isn't relevant. These lines in the config. And then
where'd they dig up that guy? Like this, like, oh hey, I got a random email because I forwarded off to the DICE mega email list, and I was like, yeah, this guy just comes out of nowhere. Like he's the one who like created all this shit. Like, but you? Like, who are you? Like, why don't you talk to us?
Yeah, exactly. And it sort of reveals how he wasn't involved, or, you know, he just kind of randomly, you know, texted while he's like on the other side of the earth or in Mars, something.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he doesn't even work there anymore. I don't know, but it just shows that he wasn't directly working on audio at that week or that month when audio was a huge problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was on their Trello. And then they said they updated the audio. And honestly, I haven't heard that much of a difference.
Nah, I feel like I'm still placebo
bizarre.
Here.
It's bizarre because Battlefield 1, as we all know and love, had great footsteps. And no one can figure out why they just didn't copy paste that. I don't know, because they didn't fully like redo the engine or anything, right?
No,
for
same
BF5.
engine, same version. From what I understand.
BF4 won an award for audio. Yeah, well, so did BF5, right?
Yeah, BF5 won an award. Maybe OG Smurf mistyped that, but yeah, I think you're right on both games actually. But yeah, BF1 just there's a lot of things I just disagree with BF1, like the simple mechanics when it comes to sweet spotting or
I know it's not as simple as copy paste, yeah, but I'm saying like they could go off of that system.
Right, yeah. It's if they had the same person doing it for the audio, maybe it would be a lot better, but anyway. Moving on to another topic here, Tombstone here. It feels like DICE is just going through the motions. Is it time to shelve Battlefield after Battlefield 6 and let it breathe? I don't think EA would ever want that. Like, EA is banking on this whole Battlefield franchise, and they're definitely going to give them another chance for Battlefield 6. But if Battlefield 6 is a total miserable failure and not making any money off of Battlefield franchise, EA is goddamn definitely gonna can it, like, for sure, like they can all the other games that never made it out, and all the other developer companies. So it would be a very sad thing. That's one of the reasons why I started the show, was because that there's signs of DICE straight up getting canned in a way.
Yeah.
And that this live service is not really showing DICE's true quality, and we can just go back one game, Battlefield 1. There's a lot of good quality stuff in there. And things are just kind of like cheap and diminished now when we're playing Battlefield 5. So
I think
yeah.
honestly, the team that worked on BF1 is completely different from the team that's working now. The staff turnover has, I don't know if it's been a complete turnover or not, but at least from what I've heard, it's, 50% plus different.
Okay. So anyway, 6.2 is out, and let's just start with the recoil changes.
Sure.
Do you enjoy the random recoil, or are you on the team of like maybe they shouldn't be in the game?
Yeah, no, I love when my gun just kicks to the side for no reason. Yeah, so for those of you in the chat who don't know what spread to recoil is, I'm not a technical expert on it, but I'll try to explain that. So in other like previous shooters like BF1, you would have spread on your bullets, and so you could be aiming at something, and the bullets would not be lasering on where your dot was pointing. There would be a certain spread, like they may randomly go a little bit to the left, right, or top, or whatever. And that was random. And so that wouldn't change though, that your aim would still be pointed somewhere, but then the bullets would deviate from your aim point. So now they decided to change that to, instead of the bullets deviating from the aim point, your aim point now goes to that random spread point, which is just bizarre and demands that, well, it doesn't demand, it tricks you into thinking, oh my God, my gun's recoiling this way, I gotta like pull it here. But no, it was just a random deviation and your gun's actually fine on center. And you get essentially either random misses or random hits that you didn't deserve. So random people can get hits that they didn't deserve.
Would it be fair to compare this to the random suppression spread that we had in BF1? Would that be fair to compare?
So, but that
when you're
didn't
under
move your
spread.
gun. So that's the difference, is it didn't move your gun. It just,
Right.
the bullet trajectory changed. So it's the difference between the gun physically moves, so you get a screen shake to some random direction, and you're like, you now have to adapt to that in terms of your mouse. There's some posts, the Enders made a good post arguing that this should all be changed. And someone provided some extra info that I think DICE like intended. I'm not sure. I should
Was
probably
it
try to
like
find.
this? Was it like this the whole time? The whole time the
Yeah,
game has been out? It's
yeah,
always been
yeah.
random
So
recoil. Now it's just more significant now.
we only started noticing this because, well, people knew it from the get-go, but it's just more apparent because after the laser recoil of 5.2, where pretty much everything's just a laser beam, there's no recoil, going back to the old values, we suddenly start to see how silly it is. Like, it's so silly that your gun now kicks in a random direction. Like, people would rather have, if we're given a choice between the two, people would rather have the bullet just deviates, but the aim point remains where you were aiming, rather than the gun aim point now deviates to that random location.
But I remember that when DICE was doing the marketing for this game, that, where you look is where your bullet will go, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know if this is true, or maybe I saw this from another stream. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me on this, but there were specific recoil patterns, and they said that you can improve on your weapon and get good with your weapon by learning those predetermined patterns. Now,
that would be great.
I could have sworn that was like in the game, like that's what they were banking on, and now it's not there anymore.
I mean,
did you recall this?
I don't. Well, see, I came into Battlefield 5 in September, so I don't remember.
I see.
So
that's what
I was
they definitely
BF1 for a
said.
long time.
That's what they definitely said. Okay.
Yeah, so
would you like that idea instead?
I mean, I think patterns are good because it rewards getting a muscle memory for a gun.
Yeah.
I think, if they could remove spread to recoil, and then maybe if they want to institute more difficult recoil values, like higher vertical recoil, because let's face it, there's not a lot of vertical recoil for most things in this game. We could make it more so that there's more of a skill gap in controlling recoil. Horizontal though is random as well. So you have to consider the horizontal random recoil in addition to the spread to recoil mechanic, which makes it just so annoying.
That would be bad. That would be just a very annoying game that I probably would have to put down. I mean, the random recoil right now that I'm seeing in certain SMGs and things like that, I've been choosing the slower rate of fire ones, but when I go to the faster ones, I notice it right away. It's like, okay, yeah, I see it. And that's not on top of like certain netcode issues, like getting shot behind cover. I mean, that's on top of that.
Right.
But
and yeah, it's most noticeable in the ZK right now because most people are using the ZK and it was just a laser before, and now it just randomly kicks. And you feel like sometimes you shoot really far away and you just completely beam someone. You just laser someone in their head because that random recoil didn't happen. Then other times you take a shot at someone closer and then your gun just goes all over the place. And it's like, well, what is this?
It's punishing skillful players, like, because every time you try to shoot somebody and you're using your skill and you've learned the weapon really well, and now you can't hit him, and you think, oh man, am I just not good at aiming right now, or is this recoil actually freaking like fucking me up? Is it a slot machine every single time? Because
now,
and I think
the big problem is you don't know when it's going to happen. Like, if I knew that, okay, my gun's going to kick up randomly for this 1v1, so that changes everything, versus, oh, it's going to be a laser. Like, what a silly question that you have to be considering. And when you take 1v1s, when you decide whether you're going to take a fight, like, if someone's standing really far away, if I knew that my ZK was going to randomly decide to be a laser, then I would take that fight. But then, you know what I'm saying?
It'd be like a perk. It was like, oh, hey, yeah, perfect recoil pattern. If you pay like 500 company coin, you'll have it for a little bit. And I can see them trying to like.
And it's not just the ZK; it's other guns. Like, I'm using the ZK as an example because it was most apparent because ZK was very popular.
Exactly. Yeah, and the 2A type 2A is also been given that change. Which
but it almost feels stupid to also have someone who decides to take a massive long range fight with you with their ZK, which is a dumb decision, like skill wise, but then they're randomly rewarded because their ZK doesn't recoil at all. Like, that's very frustrating to die to.
And I mean, are you guys starting to notice this right now, even from today's comp event? Do you hear anybody like, oh, this recoil is terrible, and I'm blaming the recoil because I didn't kill Boca Rosa or something? Is it something like that?
I mean, there were times where I lasered people and I was like, I didn't deserve that. Like, that was just...
You didn't deserve it now. It's like changed your mind. Like, they conditioned you in a certain way to where you don't deserve this.
Well, how frustrating is it to... laser someone across the map with your ZK and then encounter someone closer, like 100 meters closer to you. Not 100, you know what I mean? Just very close to you, and then you just can't hit them.
Ugh. I don't feel that like that's right.
No, it's a bad mechanic. It's bad design. Should be removed.
But why did they put it in the first place?
It may have been their solution to the fact that they were, like you said, where you aim is where your bullets go. But then they were like, oh, well, we need to have recoil though, or we need to do spread somehow.
To do what? To stop people like you from melting the server?
I mean, I couldn't tell you what their logic was.
Yeah, to keep the churn or something. Yeah, well, I feel like everything, all their different updates, like the TTK changes, TTK 2.0, like all these things are to hurt, or like attrition. All these are things to hurt skilled players to
make noobs have a chance.
Exactly. Yeah. The footsteps
being valid low. Business strategy. Yeah. Like, we can talk shit on that, but I can understand it. Yeah. I don't think spread to recoil really does that really give noobs a chance though, because the same thing happens to them.
Hey, you hit the jackpot every once in a while. Maybe that random recoil hit was
because sometimes spread to recoil can give you a hit that you didn't aim at.
Right.
Like, sometimes I get a headshot due to spread to recoil, that I wasn't aiming at his head, but it kicked up perfectly into his head. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it lowers the
I didn't
skill
deserve
gap.
that.
It lowers the skill gap, and I don't know why these companies keep pushing the skill gap to get smaller and smaller and smaller to where now everybody has a chance. Everybody's Battlefield. Exactly.
I mean, financially, that probably makes sense because, you know, the ultra skilled player base is a small percentage of their
ruining the
consumer
market.
base, right?
It's ruining the market straight up. But you know, there's different games that can benefit from, like Apex and their leagues. The league system in Apex. Maybe they definitely have a league system in Call of Duty, right? For
They have
multiplayer.
skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah.
But we don't know what like ranks we are. Like it's pretty obvious, like
Ooh.
at least late night. So you know who Fizz is?
Yeah, of course.
Literally a god player. At you know late night Modern Warfare, I'm pretty much always matched into his lobbies or he's matched into mine because I think there's like a general like upper tier at that time of night, and then there's the lower tiers. I mean, I'm not nearly as good as him, but like that's it. There's like that high tier lobby, and then the other lobbies. So they have skill based matchmaking with some sort of invisible number or invisible calculated skill level that we don't know yet. But that's something that my overlay is trying to calculate actually.
Yeah. Oh, well, speaking of your overlay, let's just get right into that, and then we'll move on to maybe a couple more. Well, did we cover every issue? I think we did. Yeah, let's talk about your overlay.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what are you developing, and can you give us the process? Or
yeah,
I have an example. I can show you a clip here, real quick, of you messing with it. Let me see if I can find that. I think it's this one here. Here, check this out. So maybe you can explain it. I'll just have it muted here.
So you can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it? Oh, my bad. Hold on. I got this. Let me pause it. One momento. Technical difficulties, ladies and
gentlemen. I have a sample clip.
Technical difficulties. Okay, there you go. Yeah, here we go. You can see it now. It's at the bottom there. You can see it?
Yeah, this isn't a good representation of it because it's not real-time updating.
Yeah, give me another one.
But yeah, we can just pause. Like if you pause it so people can see the overlay. So basically, what I've been developing, I always love stats, right? And I've been developing a way for people to track their kills and other stats like KPM, KD, and stuff in real time, updating as they play. And they can have this show to their viewers or themselves or whatever. So in that clip, there's an example of it updating after a match, but I have a clip of it updating in real time as I play.
That's
just
sick.
Grab that real quick.
Yeah. You have it.
It's a streamable. I can just send to you. Play.
Yeah. Send it. Yeah. Send to me in DM.
Yeah. So I just sent it to you, and
there you
go. So if you look at the bottom right, you can see as I get kills, it's automatically updating in real time the kills that I get and calculating the KPM. I'm just killing bots in this clip, but it's also my streak towards a nuke is on the far side, and the KD, of course. Now I'm planning to port this to Battlefield 5. I was coding it for Modern Warfare originally, and I can happily port it to Battlefield 5 if any of the streamers want to use this. So yeah, you can see the numbers just updating real time there, every kill, and I'm struggling to kill bots apparently.
Dude, I would want this so much, like, because I'm trying to track how many kills I have with a specific gun. Would this? Do you think that would work in real time for Battlefield 5? Have you even tested
specific gun? Would be I would have to code that like separately. Like I would have to spend more time on that as a feature, but I could happily put some time into that if I have.
All right. Well, what are you working on generalistically for Battlefield 5?
Yeah, so basically something like this, where you have match statistics and also your current in-match performance. So the match statistics, which you can see on the left side, is a summary of your past like 20 or so matches.
Okay.
It says like 20% wins, total kills. I mean, this is kind of inaccurate because I was just in bot lobbies.
Sure.
But that's all from the API, so that's all 100% accurate.
Wow.
The on the right side, because it's against terms of service to directly read the process memory of the game, because that's the foundation of most cheat software apps.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Essentially, I use an optical character recognition system that it's called Tesseract. It's a Python library by Google that I use to read rapidly captured screenshots of the game. So screenshots are being captured of Call of Duty or Battlefield, and then I use this OCR Tesseract to extract, whether you got a kill, what's going on in the game, whether someone killed you. And there's a lot of ways this can expand.
Whoa.
Like I can get estimated skill levels of everyone in your lobby.
Whoa.
I can get the average KD of your server, that sort of stuff. Like there's a lot of different avenues that I want to expand into with this overlay.
Watch Fair Fight bans you.
Yeah,
That would be
so
interesting.
I mean that's one of the reasons like I definitely did not just directly read the app, like
Yeah.
directly read process memory, because that's like an instant ban usually,
Yeah.
because that's what cheaters do. So I rapidly take screenshots of the game, and the code doesn't actually, or the program doesn't actually interact with the game app itself. It just interacts with the screenshots.
So would you need to download something, or how
Yeah, it
would
would
this
be a
over?
package that I would send, and I would explain how to set it up and that whole thing.
Oh,
And it's an
okay.
overlay that you can just put into your OBS.
All right. Yeah. Overlays have been a huge no-no when it comes to Battlefield. In general, people have been getting either wrongfully banned and stuff like that. But you're
Well, you
saying
don't see
this,
it. It's only on your stream. You don't see it yourself.
right. I understand that, but it's
Yeah.
still an overlay. Like, is it similar to that? What was that overlay with the crosshairs and stuff?
Oh, like having a reticle on the center of the screen?
Is it something like that, or same idea,
No,
or
it's not, because that shows up in the game and you personally can see that while you're playing. This is more so just stats that appear on your stream. This is really streamers only. Like this wouldn't be any sort of benefit to just a player.
okay? So how would you so if you get this package, how would you integrate it to your stream? Is there like a simple way to do it, or is it maybe too
Yeah,
advanced right now?
I mean, I'm intending to make it pretty simple, so anyone can do it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it free, or well, for my friends it would definitely be free. But I don't know if I'm gonna try to monetize certain features or not. But it would just be something you just add into OBS, just like you add any sort of source.
Ah, yes, like a
Like very
textual
very
source or
simple.
something. Gotcha. Wow, that would be so sweet, man. I would give you money anyway. I'd throw money at you for sure. I've been looking for that for like a stat counter or a kill counter is what I'm mainly looking for like a specific weapon that I'm on. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be so, because I
specific
had so
weapon,
much fun doing that.
that would probably involve me needing to check. You'd probably have to have your kill what's it called, kill cam showing in the corner, and then it would read like what weapon you used. Yeah, that's something I would have to work on separately.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, because it's all through those screenshots that kind of look through it. That's
I can actually
interesting.
show, this is the process that the software goes through when it's trying to determine your kills in Call of Duty in this particular clip. This is a screenshot right here. So you can see that it narrows down. Well, you can put it up for everyone. Yeah, you can see that it narrows down from the colors into a more stark black and white, that it can easily analyze the text and determine what kills you're getting. So I would take a similar approach in Battlefield 5, probably with the skulls that appear when you get kills or something like that.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's cool. Why is this picture so big? I can't like shrink it.
Oh, that's okay. I mean,
I had to reset. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Wow, that's interesting shit right there. I didn't even think about doing that. So initially, did you want to like get information from an API that's like online?
yeah,
Like
so that's what I do for the
stats
match
website?
statistics.
Okay.
Because sometimes it makes mistakes. Occasionally, if too much is happening at once, it'll miss a kill. So after each match, it will check the API for the ground truth of what happened and then correct itself if it made a mistake.
I see. That's really cool, dude. Well, keep us informed about that. Are you gonna put most of the stuff, like maybe updates, on your Twitter or something?
Yeah, I've been updating on my Twitter the progress. Oddly enough, Tracker just came out with their own overlay as I was working on this, which
Nice.
I guess is competition.
All right.
So, well, one thing I have on them is that mine is real time updating, and theirs is just every match.
And then okay, that's cool. Um, I think you have a a benefit of doing real time, dude. That's what a lot of people would want for sure. That's awesome.
Thank
Any
you.
updates right now? That we should be maybe looking for? Like, when can we expect something like this to come out?
So I'm currently testing it myself, and basically every time it misses a kill, I'm beta testing it, or like I'm updating the code to make sure it doesn't do that. And then I would probably open it to friends, streamers, like all the streamers we know, if they
Okay.
want to use it or if they don't. Uh, Definitely, all our streamer friends, like I would just give it free. I'm not interested in charging money to people right now.
Yeah, people are wondering about the effect on performance. This shouldn't affect the performance,
I
right?
didn't notice any effect. I maintained like 200 plus frames in Modern Warfare while playing this.
But you haven't tested on Battlefield yet?
No, but I can't imagine it would be a similar or a different
There you go.
impact, like a much more significant impact.
Oh, there you go.
Um,
Cool.
yeah, well, see, yeah, you're right, Vengeance, but I handle it in a way that doesn't impact performance that much, depending on your system.
Okay. All right. We'll see how it goes for that.
It's like a single screenshot buffer stream that it's not like it's collecting like
It
a
doesn't collect.
shit ton of screenshots, and yeah,
It's like a one, and then it gives you the data, and then it deletes it, kind of thing.
yeah, there's a single screenshot going through its processing memory like at any time, and then it's just always in and out, in and out.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't notice any frame drops at all.
That's sick, dude. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. That would be really cool to give it a shot, give it a try. And man, maybe you'll get famous one day for this. Make some good money off of that.
It's a fun hobby for now.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Don't try to get technical, Julian. I don't know anything about that stuff, but it's definitely something I would be interested in. Yeah, Tombstone. So, with your question here, with the current state of Battlefield, would you be more disappointed or happy if you were to delay BF6? I think they have plenty of time to develop if they have the team, AAA team for Battlefield 6. Yeah, they shouldn't delay it or anything like that unless they run into some huge issues. But I think they got plenty of time, dude. Like we got still got like
be absolutely shocked if BF6 like isn't. I mean, their work allocation of BF5 is so non-existent that like, what are they doing if BF6 isn't good?
Yeah, well, I again, if this coronavirus stuff keeps going crazy, maybe they might have to postpone it. So
yeah,
we'll see. But I doubt it. Tombstone, thanks for asking the question. Okay, let's get into Call of Duty. Let's start with just regular multiplayer. What has been your experiences? Any like glaring issues that you wanted to talk about when it comes to Modern Warfare?
Yeah, at first, when Modern Warfare was released, I wrote it off and went back to Battlefield 5 because the TTK was so short, and I was like, "Oh, this is dumb. You just die instantly to everyone." The more I've practiced, the more I've gotten used to the maps and the angles. It's actually very polished and much more fun, in my opinion, than Battlefield 5 currently. There are a couple of issues, but it's like only a few and very minor that, the developers, they're in talks. Like you can see the communications on Twitter and Reddit and like, what they think about it, what, the community thinks about it. And there's generally positive reactions, positive relationships between the developers and the community. I guess the number one issue would be stuff like, I think shotguns are too overpowered. that's generally a problem in most games, because with shotguns, it's the trade-off between, you know, one-hit kill or it doesn't do anything. Like, there's no point using a shotgun if it's not a one-hit kill in that particular range. And so what range should it be? Well, it's just so frustrating to die to. Same thing with BF5. Like, I don't shotguns are annoying in that game. Shotguns are annoying in Modern Warfare.
Every game, jeez.
What else? In terms of multiplayer, like non-Warzone multiplayer.
Yeah, just multiplayer, regular multiplayer.
I don't know, man. It's fun.
How about loadouts? Like specific loadouts that are just goddamn criminal?
There's meta guns like M4 and MP5.
Okay.
But they've been slowly nerfing them over time.
Oh,
like before, in the fall they were disgusting. Like, everyone was just running M4 and MP5, and now M4 and MP5 are still the competitive loadouts. But they're slowly nerfing them, and hopefully more. Although recently they've been buffing other weapons, so there's now this AK with the 5.56 rounds, and it's actually a faster TTK than the M4.
Oh
now,
boy!
at a certain range though.
Okay.
So there's a lot of new like weapons that they're buffing in certain ways to probably be more competitive with the, you know, meta guns. So they're taking this avenue of buffing other things rather than nerfing the meta.
Is it a pretty good list of weapons to where a lot of people are using a lot of different things, like in casual play, like different, is it really spread out, or is it just straight up meta weapons?
In casual, it depends on the skill-based matchmaking lobby you're in. If you're in a super high tier, everyone's usually running meta.
Right.
But in the casuals, you have to keep in mind there's also the Damascus grind, the Damascus skin grind, that forces you to get gold on every single weapon. And that basically forces everyone to use different things, and it's actually fun to try different guns that way. And you have so many people trying to do that grind that you often find people using, you know, changing up their loadouts, sometimes in a little bit of a cancerous way, because there's a task for mounted kills that requires you to basically camp an angle. It's kind of annoying to deal with.
Yeah, mounting is kind of like the bipod thing. Can you compare it to that? Okay.
Yeah, you basically just mount onto a wall, and it's almost like bipoding. Yeah.
But you could do that with every gun, right?
Yeah.
Can you do it with pistols?
I think so, but it doesn't do a lot.
Oh.
Like pistols, you're better off using your agility to your advantage.
Now, with this whole Damascus grind, is this something that would be perhaps a good comparison when it comes to like the assignment system we have in Battlefield 5?
No,
should there be a grind of any type in Battlefield 5 other than fucking the 500 ranks?
I think the 500 ranks in Battlefield 5 is extremely arbitrary, and it was sort of like, oh, let's make people just play more, and now they have something to strive towards. But it's very not thought out. The Damascus grind, it has terrible elements like the launchers. Getting gold on the launchers is so hard, but
I'm sure people
it's something to do. It's actually fun. It's fun to grind some of the weapons, and you know, especially if you're suffering together with a friend, it's enjoyable. Whereas the assignments for Battlefield 5 are so arbitrary and almost auto-generated. Like, you know, get 50 kills like prone, doing that, like just so random and annoying. Whereas you know what to expect with the challenges for the gold guns in Modern Warfare. It's the same challenges mostly for every single gun. Like, it's, you know, 300 kills in general, 100 headshots, you know, 75 long shots, 75 mounted kills, 75 kills with all attachments, 75 kills with no attachments. Like, it's the same for most of the weapons. And then you get that gold, so you kind of know what to expect. And even though I personally disagree with the mounted kills thing, you know, it's a fun grind compared to Battlefield 5, where it's random, and what you get gold,
company coin,
and then you get company coin. Yeah. And nothing of value that you can show. Like, if they had a platinum or some other level of skins, maybe that would be interesting in Battlefield 5. Like, if you gilded every weapon.
End game stuff.
Yeah.
They really never think that out. We thought they would have a good end game
Riot
for.
Shield.
Yeah, right. I was gonna ask that. You get gold on Riot Shield?
I am extremely close. Lafayama just got gold in Riot Shield.
You can. Oh my
I need to get like 10 more 3-kill streaks with a Riot Shield, then I have it gold.
Oh my god. Wait, can you only kill with the Riot Shield by bumping people, or can you do something
Yeah,
different?
so I guess the meta for these challenges is going into hardcore, because Riot Shield is a single hit kill in hardcore.
Okay,
but a double hit kill in normal mode.
That's cancer. That would be very annoying for sure. But I mean,
it's like kind of a meme, like going into shipment and
right?
just you see some guy running around with a knife, some guys running around with a Riot Shield. You all know we're all doing Damascus challenges, and like some guys like trying to get kills with his javelin, and like everyone's running around like an idiot, and you know it's the Damascus grind, and it's just another funny meme element to the game.
Gotcha. Okay, what's your go-to guns for multiplayer? Is it just meta or?
Right now it's the Ram 7 and the MP7. Of course, if we're sweating and competitive, then it would be the meta M4 and MP5.
Gotcha. Okay. Is the Ram is that the newest guns that you can unlock via the progression system, or is this been base gun?
The newest assault rifle is the Grau. The Ram was another DLC weapon that came before. The Ram is actually, I think it's somewhat better than the M4, except it just has more recoil. But so a lot of people prefer the M4, but the Ram doesn't have the negative stigma that the M4 has. So you want to run Ram so you can slay people and no one calls you out.
Ooh, okay. Now
but it handles worse. Yeah, exactly.
For regular multiplayer, is this whole night vision scopes, IR scopes, are those anything to fuss about, or is that all just Warzone talk right now?
They're definitely meta in Warzone. I've never really been that tilted by thermals in multiplayer, mostly because the people running them are either camped up on an angle or like the type of person that I've seen in my experience, the type of person who would use thermals in multiplayer is bad enough to just die on your flank. Like they're relying on their thermal to find people rather than any sort of game sense. So they're probably not great.
Oh, okay. That sounds like me.
At least in the multiplayer maps where the angles and like where people are coming is usually intuitive.
Okay.
But in Warzone, there's so like open, fields and stuff. Like thermals are meta because you can't cover everywhere. So thermals are really useful for just blatantly scanning across your entire field of view. It's just helpful.
Is there
you quickly scan?
Is there a balance to that? Is there like maybe specific clothing you can wear to mask yourself, like in BF3?
Cold-blooded perk.
Cold-blooded?
Okay. Yeah, cold-blooded makes you hidden on thermals.
Gotcha.
And although you can still kind of see them, but it's harder. They're not bright white; they're dark. But yeah, so thermals, I think maybe they could use a nerf or something, but in terms of ADS time, thermals are like a -3 or -4 frame.
Okay.
No, +3, +4 ADS time. So there's a ADS penalty for using thermals. That basically means they have to hold angles rather than run and gun with thermals.
Right. Makes
I
sense,
think it could use more of a nerf because everyone's running thermals essentially at the end. And some people run cold-blooded, but you can still see. Yeah.
A little bit. Okay. Now, when we're talking about thermals, IR, night vision, there are things in the Battlefield code with something like that. It was like a kitted out M2 with a night vision scope on it.
Prototype Nazi, like whatever.
Yeah. So,
that's hilarious.
How would that work in Battlefield? Like,
I don't think it would.
It would. There's no counter, right?
I mean, they would have to have some sort of counterplay or they would have to have an extreme penalty for using it, like maybe an extreme ADS penalty. But honestly, in Battlefield, I just don't see it working. It's either overpowered because there's no cold-blooded perk. Like, you either have it very hard to use for the person using it, or someone else is able to counterplay it with cold-blooded. They don't have perks in Battlefield 5, so I don't see it working.
Oh, but they do. Remember the skills, the certain skills for each and every class has their own little perks on there. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, you're right. So
they can just add a cold-blooded one to it, I guess. I mean,
yeah, so then one class out of like 1/8 of players are now immune to a thermal because they would they give it to one class and then you're picking two or whatever. Like it's so bad. I don't want to even think about that.
Yeah, that sounds like a big rabbit hole for sure. Hey, thanks for the host, guys. Welcome to the Battlefield Show, episode number 22 here with Deltara.
Oh, baby.
Welcome all new people here, new Battlefielders. We're talking about Call of Duty as well because the new Warzone came out. So we're going to be getting into that pretty much right now. So, Deltara, the COD Warzone here, what do you think about it? First impressions?
So
Let me have it.
Oh my God, huh? So good. It's just like everything Firestorm should have been.
Breaks my heart.
Immediately, thanks for no problem, Brad. Immediately when going into it, like you could tell how polished it was. It was like the AAA polish on a BR. Like I've always been frustrated with how clunky PUBG is. Apex was a step in the right direction, but I've never liked abilities and that sort of thing. I've always liked just gunplay, and there are issues with Warzone that I'll get into, but just dropping down, the map was complete. There weren't that many significant problems with netcode. Like I had some packet loss occasionally, but it was understandable because literally everyone was playing it, and there were 500,000 people watching on Twitch.
It was a lot.
It dropped, and then it's just like COD multiplayer on the ground, except it's Warzone, and the map is huge. It was a lot of fun. Now, my biggest problem with BRs previously was all the luck, all the random factors that would lead to your demise. Like, oh, is it really your lack of skill that caused this group to third party you and then this group to fourth party you? You're just fucked. There's nothing you can do. But that's the nature of BRs. Like, you didn't find a gun. Your loot was terrible. You're just fucked. And I hated that aspect because then you would, you die and then you queue up again and then you have to wait and then you drop again and you loot for 20 minutes and the first person you run into, maybe you die or you kill. Yeah. And the thing in Warzone is they have so many RNG mitigators. Like you have the Gulag, you have the 1v1, which is awesome because it's just like gunfight. You have so many chances to come back. Not only do they have the same respawn concept that Apex had, albeit it's for $4,500, which is fine. In my opinion, it should be more expensive, but
to bring back somebody.
Yeah, to bring back someone. So even if you lose this 1v1, after that 1v1 chance, you even have a second chance or a third chance for your team to buy you back. So it's almost this random element, these random, like, just getting fucked doesn't matter because you can feel more secure that, all right, well, I could 1v1 or my team could buy me back. It's not so bad. You get less frustrated.
I love it. I absolutely adore the whole gulag thing. It's so Call of Duty too, because Call of Duty is all about spawning in, dying, spawning back in real quick, getting back into the action. I think that's what it has. It's instant action all the time. Yeah. That's exactly what Call of Duty is. But what Blackout did was so not Call of Duty. Maybe like in certain aspects with kill streaks and certain gun types, but this is just a really brilliant idea to bring people back into the action. And I love gunfight, I just love that whole idea. 1v1s or 2v2s. But Blackout, can you compare it with Blackout? What did Blackout do wrong? That
I
this
never
one
played
did?
Blackout.
I see. Okay.
I've played PUBG, Apex, and what was the other one?
You play Firestorm, yeah?
Yeah, Firestorm.
Okay, let's
How
compare it with
quickly I
Fire.
forget. Yeah.
Let's compare it with
Um,
Firestorm then.
yeah. So they
You
borrowed a lot of things from Firestorm actually, which makes it even
yeah.
more sad.
Yes.
Looks like Firestorm had these concepts like capping flags to
Uh-huh.
get better loot.
Oh my
So
god.
Warzone borrows that in the form of contracts.
I totally forgot about it.
You have the option to cap an area, just like Firestorm. Then they also have these two other contract types, the scavenger contract and also the bounty contract where you hunt another squad, which I think is really cool. These contracts basically keep everyone fighting. So the bounty contracts keep people hunting each other or running away or, trying to find each other. The scavenger contracts usually make you go somewhere that you didn't want to go and that you might run into another squad. And then what was the other one? The flag capturing, everyone can see that you're capturing a flag, so people might want to go there. There's all these elements that keep action happening. And Firestorm, I think the big problem with Firestorm was just the looting was so bad. You have this inventory management issue in Firestorm is so clunky, and Warzone doesn't have any inventory management at all. You don't have to worry about it.
You have to worry about the annoying things. Yeah, like getting certain attachments or
Even in PUBG and other games, like having to press tab and
specific ammo, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about inventory is fantastic. It's very similar to Firestorm. If you need to drop something, it's what I like. They did better in Warzone is that you have to press tab or whatever to see it. Right in Battlefield is like always there on the right side, constantly showing like your most important items. I guess maybe that's a Battlefield thing, but I like this direction where like BRs are going. More intense action. I feel like this was someone's baby. This is what Call of Duty BR should be like, and
they're trying to expand it to 200 players. They had plans to expand it to 200 players.
200 players, yeah.
It's very clear that they studied very carefully, what went wrong in other BRs and what is good in other BRs, and just tried to create the perfect combination of all of those. Like just playing it, it's polished is the word I keep using because someone thoroughly, they drew out the features. They were like, what do we want to do? What are our objectives here? And it's just so night and day from the priorities of Battlefield 5 or at DICE.
It's as if they were working on this for a very long time.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Just kind of came out of nowhere, just like Apex with their whole spotting system. The pinging system was so in depth. We were just blown away. Like, what?
That was very ingenious.
This is possible. So
obviously Warzone copied that, but yeah, the ping system's great.
Yeah, this is a little more. It's easier to use too. It's maybe not as responsive as I would like it to be. Sometimes I can accidentally cue spam. Like if I'm trying to double click the ping button that I put it as Q actually because
and it doesn't like
it doesn't like make it red. It doesn't make it red sometimes. Yeah. It'll if I don't click it fast enough, it'll undo my first
this happened.
My first ping. So
there are for sure some like beta level problems, but I mean I don't even care because the game is just so fun. It's mostly there.
Okay. Well, let's go to some of the main issues and biggest talking points. The biggest one has to be loadouts.
Oh my god, yeah.
Loadout drops. What would you think you do? What would they need to improve on that? Because I don't know if they should keep it the way it is.
I like where they were going with it. There are a few options. So for those of you who don't know, in Warzone, you have the option, if you get enough money, you collect enough money, you can buy a loadout, just like a create a class loadout in multiplayer. And that's the only way you can get perks. That's kind of why they're overpowered is the perks and also, attachments on your guns, like a lot of attachments, because you get a full multiplayer loadout. And the issue is that it's far too cheap. This loadout crate that drops is only $6,000, which you can collect in the first like couple minutes. And it supplies your entire squad of 3, with loadouts.
Yeah.
So that's way too generous in my opinion. And I think they could either
One-time
make it
use.
far more expensive, or they can make it supply only one person. Or they could also decrease something that they do is they have loadout crates drop randomly on the map,
Yeah.
equidistant between you and another squad.
I didn't know
And that's
that.
in order, yeah, it's equidistant between an enemy squad and yourself. So it's in order to encourage you to, both push it and both fight over it. The problem
Now
is
I
that
get it.
loadout,
Now I
the
get it.
problem is that like loadout crates are so plentiful and so easily bought that no one really goes for them because they already have loadouts by the time those drop. And so those fights aren't really happening. What would be interesting is if those loadout crates maybe were the only time that loadout crates drop. Like
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Either that or they're way more expensive or they only serve one person. Because right now the meta for Warzone is just getting loadouts as soon as possible, which is 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a little insane. Every time when I was playing, every time there's a loadout drop and it'll give you the notification up top. They'll say loadout drop in your area or whatever. And you can see it. It's like the icons are so freaking big sometimes they kind of like block your viewing when you're ADSing. I don't know. Bless you. Do you just I'm on that topic before I forget it? While ADSing over these gigantic icons, is there any way to like decrease the viewing on that real? Do you know?
Oh, like the transparency or
Yeah.
size? I think there is.
I can't find it, man, for some reason.
I haven't tried, honestly. Probably just
Anyway,
go into settings and see, yeah.
so every time there's a loadout in my area and like my squad's like, dude, let's go get it. I'm like, hell no, dude, because every single time I go to get it, within like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, there's like 3 squads already surrounding you. And now I get it. Now that you said that it's equidistant between squads, now I understand. It's just like, oh, okay. It's everyone jump into the pile. Like it's just like,
well,
stupid.
you can approach it a few ways. Like you can push into it and get it. Usually we have loadouts by the time we see one of those crates. So what we do is we just camp the angle and try to like watch for other squads.
About it. Yeah.
And
even
usually we can pick people off going for it. Yeah, we just have the loadouts way too quickly so that feature is sort of forgotten, but it's a good feature in my opinion. It's forcing people to fight. If those loadout crates were rarer and more expensive, then more people would, take the risk to go for them.
Now, I totally understand why they put it in there. At first, I was very against this loadout because I'm thinking, oh, that's just, play to win kind of stuff. Like you have to play a multiplayer to unlock all these crazy attachments for all these guns. I still kind of have that feeling, but it's, the TDK is so fast. I mean, can you like maybe reassure me that that's not really an issue, or like this whole custom loadout thing seems overpowered in my opinion.
Compared to the gold guns you get, or the guns you get in general, the TTK is very quick, so that having the fully perked out, decked out loadout is not like the most significant advantage. It's an advantage for sure because of the perks, but in terms of the weapons,
okay, that's different.
I would argue that the perks is the main appeal of the loadouts, not really the weapons, because you can get good weapons off the ground or out of the chests. The perks, like the meta is really cold-blooded, ghost and tracker, or amped depending on your loadout. Some people like to run high alert, but ghost is far more effective at the final circles because everyone's spamming UAVs. And if your entire squad is ghost, then that's just, extremely powerful. But
gotcha.
In terms of the Warzone show, lol.
There you go.
Yeah,
makes sense, right? Oh,
getting back to your question, yeah, I would say perks is the main reason that they're overpowered. That and access to the fully perked out, decked out M4, and it's even so bad that you can get 2 crates, and then you can get, what I often do is I have an M4 loadout in the first slot, And then when I get a second loadout crate, I get my MP5 loadout, and then you can have basically 2 primaries without running the overkill perk.
Right.
So they need to change it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would still want perks, yeah? Or
yeah, that's
that's
most of the
idea.
reason. Yeah,
Random
well,
perks?
see, you need counterplay. You need counterplay to thermals and UAVs. The perks are important as counterplay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Huh. Yeah, maybe they should keep. Well, just get rid of the perks, and the other counters. Like just get rid of the IR scopes, like ban them or whatever. Or
so yeah, if they got rid of perks, I think they would have to get rid of stuff like thermals and UAVs. Like UAVs, otherwise, because they're spammed. Like at the final circle, pretty much everyone is running UAVs at the final circle. So is that really fair that there's no counterplay to that if you take out perks?
True. That I think
If
the
you
simplest
also,
solution would be what you're saying, what you're talking about there.
Yeah, if you run 3 UAVs, it also turns into an advanced UAV, which is just disgustingly overpowered, especially if you don't have Ghost.
Why do you think that's a thing?
Because I guess it's a $12,000 investment by your team, and $12,000 for 45 seconds of advanced UAV. I mean, that seems fine.
And that's, you can see everybody, right?
So the way advanced UAVs work is it's like, I don't know if anyone played Black Ops or anything. It's that you see their arrows in real time on the minimap.
Okay, gotcha.
And Zafaria, they changed that, so it's now like 45 seconds.
Ooh.
Unless you're talking about like a Warzone only thing that I don't know. But yeah, it used to be up for like no time at all. The advanced UAV, if you're running Ghost, it shows you as a normal dot. And if you're not running Ghost, you're the moving arrow. So Ghost is still somewhat beneficial on the advanced UAV.
Okay, well, so from what I'm understanding, what I'm learning here is that loadouts, custom loads should be a thing with all the perks so we can have counterplay. Okay, it's going to be in the game. And I'm also understanding that it's just too cheap right now, I feel. You feel the same way, right? Too cheap. Okay. Yep. So that could be an easy fix. So, man, Warzone's got something going for it when it comes to that. This loadouts was like the hugest thing for me. The next topic was pretty much the gas and the circles. I feel like if you're not paying attention, you got that like that 10-second counter and that gas is right next to you, you're done. Like there's no chance.
I like it, honestly.
They also introduced the gas mask. Now, I just feel like the gas mask, if you find it, because it's a rare item, it should probably save you. But it doesn't seem like it can. Like, there's no need for the... Yeah, exactly. There's no need for the gas mask. It won't save you anyway, because you can't catch up.
It's situational. Like, Lafayama and I got a win due to his gas mask, I think, because the circle was closing in and he was in a situation where he couldn't move immediately, and he was able to put on the gas mask and then reposition and then re-enter to then kill everyone and get the win. And without the gas mask, that would have been possible. I think there's one issue with the gas, though, that it damages armor, which seems a little silly. Usually how it works is that the gas just damages your health, and you could die that way, but it seems silly that it bleeds your armor, and so if you get to safety, your armor's all gone. It's almost like armor is now health. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Most BRs have had it only affect health, not armor.
I thought it did. I thought it just got rid of your health and not your armor.
No, it bleeds your armor. It's very annoying.
I did not notice that. Man, no wonder it probably died so quick.
But I do like how the gas is extremely punishing, because I've hated being killed by someone camping in the gas or the blue or whatever. Like, if someone's popping meds just camping there and then they sneak up behind you, that's been very frustrating. I don't like people doing that.
Okay, but what about if they buff the gas mask, make it last for a little longer? Would you probably be down for that, or would that issue come up?
I mean, I think it's honestly fine as it is now. It's 15 seconds, I believe, and it's Yeah, I mean, it's sort of designed for going in and out, like, you know, hit and run.
Ah.
Like, you're not supposed to sit there and waste it for 15
Ah.
seconds. You're supposed to use it to kind of go into the gas and out and in and out so that you can manage your 15 seconds as much as you can.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, then yeah. Okay, I agree. Wow, I'm learning so much, and I've only played like maybe like well, how many matches? Maybe 6 to 12 matches, I think,
Yeah.
of Warzone. And the more you look into these issues, the more they're actually not too bad. Actually, just a little tweaks here and there, and they might have a really good BR on their hands. And when it comes to content, sure, they can add whatever the hell they want, really. Maybe it doesn't have to be a gulag every time. It could be a different map, for new content.
Oh, like a 1v1, like one of the
Yeah,
gunfight maps?
yeah,
That'd
1v1
be cool.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
And of course, a totally different map, like maybe, or an expansion, because I think that's what Firestorm Battlefield 5 was definitely going to try to do. But
Before no
they
one was
canned
working
it.
on it.
Yeah, then they
Yeah.
canned it, and that was that. I really feel if Firestorm was going to be a thing, Criterion would still be working on it. But I think they just had their hands tied. They couldn't make it standalone. They couldn't make it free. And that's when they're like, okay, Criterion, you can go home now. Like, it's not gonna work.
I don't know why they
Um,
didn't make it free.
I
Like,
don't
you said they
understand
couldn't?
it.
Was there something preventing them?
I feel like there's something preventing them. Like something just wasn't working out. I feel like, I don't know. I'm just guessing and speculating. I think Criterion just quit.
Oh,
I,
wow.
I feel like they
That's
just
awful.
quit, and they told Dice, no, we're not gonna, keep supporting it or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just speculating, but that's what it feels like,
Mhm.
because everyone was yelling at the top of their voices, like, you cannot release this, not free to play and not standalone. It's just it's not gonna work.
The
And
turnout, like, if you just look at the turnout for Warzone, like, on Twitch, on just in game, like, 500,000 people watching it, dude. Did Firestorm have that sort of turnout
I think it
on
was like,
stream?
no, not as crazy as that. I think it was more in the 200,000s, but that's when Shroud was still on Twitch, and they paid all those EA paid
Let's
all
look at
those people to do it.
yeah,
I'm guessing 200,000 were
let's see,
watching peak, and then it just died after 2 days.
let's check,
Once people
how many
saw
are
it, it was
watching it
like,
now. Um, let's see. Yeah, it's 171K watching Modern Warfare, and it's mostly Battle Royale.
oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, I know Call of Duty is just more popular in general on Twitch than Battlefield 5, but, like, not making it free is just so nonsensical. And was it a technical issue? Like they couldn't separate the games? Or, I mean, honestly, they
Oh
just screwed
man,
themselves.
I mean, probably, but if they had like, I don't know, man, it could be anything. But I
That's
mean,
another good
okay, how
point,
about
Brad.
this? How
The
how about
anti-cheat is
this?
better.
Yeah, the anti-cheat. Yeah, exactly. But another example of things they like just obviously can't fix, the whole assignment system in Battlefield is just
Yeah.
terrible. But it's so obviously terrible that we should have expected a fix by now. But now it's so obvious that they can't fix that because of just the way it's built internally, the code. I feel
Or it would
like,
take too much time.
yeah, too much time and
I mean, it's obviously
uh,
fixable, it's just they don't have the time or priorities.
priorities. Exactly. The priorities in BF5 are so crazy sometimes. I just,
Like,
they're
I don't work
unimaginable.
I don't work in games development, but I
Yeah,
do,
me
like,
neither.
code for a living, and the excuses that I hear from them, it has to be, like, management priorities. They cannot be serious when they're like, "Oh, we can't change this, we can't fix this." Like, yeah, again, I don't work in games development, but
Mm-hmm.
just knowing, like, coding, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it had to been something they just could not separate the game, or it was straight up from the top, and they're like, this is how we want it, and we feel like we would sell more of the base game if we had the Firestorm. I think they just, maybe someone got greedy and thought it would work, even though it was based on like no evidence at all. It was just kind of like, we might get a lot of money doing this. I don't know. They blew it, obviously, but
I think they tried to copy, you know, every other game, every other BR, but then they missed the fact that their own copy was so like lackluster. Like they expected the same results as other games. Like, okay, if we you know, do live service, we do you know, cosmetic skins and stuff, we're gonna blow up like Fortnite did with their skins. Well, the problem is their skins suck, and they're released like, you know, every 2 weeks, and they're all the same guns and very, you know, lazily put together.
it wasn't even in Firestorm at the beginning. You couldn't have your own customization in the beginning.
Like they keep copying features that other games have been successful with, because they think, oh well, yeah, we'll do it and then we'll be successful. But they do it in such a like a 50% way, or a half-ass like 20% effort way, that, you know, it ends up failing, and then they go silent because it failed and they can't explain it. Maybe, I don't know what's happening internally, but then they try something new. It's just a bad process they have over there.
Yeah, and I feel like in everything we see in Warzone is like, oh man, that's a fix from Firestorm. Like they just fixed Firestorm, like the shields, the armor plates. It's exact same fucking like animation.
Exact same thing.
Still 3. It's like, oh yeah, they're just laughing at them. I don't know,
because it's a good feature. It was a good feature. Firestorm had good features, and Warzone, sure, they're like, yeah, this works, it's good. Warzone like took what worked in other BRs and combined them into one thing.
I don't know if there's some Criterion people that moved on over there, but it
all
sure
the power
looks
to them if they did.
Yeah, great ideas.
I'm having fun with Warzone. They deserve it.
The fact that you can have specific weapons. Let's say you have an M2 carbine, assault weapon, and SMG, and there's you kill the guy, and there's a whole bunch of shit on the ground, right? In Firestorm, you have to go in there and look for all this shit on the ground, and it's like in the ground and the dirt, or it's covering, or something else is covering another thing. In this game, in Warzone, you just run over it and you get the things that you have already automatically. Less annoying.
Yeah, I've had a lot of clutch moments where I like get I drop down, I get like a pistol kill on someone, and their other 2 friends are like coming around the corner, and I just like run over everything, and I get some sort of gun, and then I can actually fight them.
I have a clip for you actually of you doing that.
Right, the revenge clip.
I think it's the revenge clip. Yeah. Where is it? Do I have that on here? Let me see.
So yeah, this revenge clip's funny.
Here we go.
It's kind of embarrassing for the other guy, but yeah. So I kill 2 people in the squad, and then the third guy gets me, and so I get sent to the gulag here.
Got done streaming that never successful like yours,
and I end up killing the third guy
I don't know if
after winning the gulag.
Let's see.
But
oh man,
generally get involved.
Dude, I always lose with the deagle. Always. I can always get one tapped
usually helps.
in the head. I'm so unlucky. Yeah, that was very
Warzone. Yeah, but I made a Twitter and
not spammy. I would have spammed the shit out of that and missed everything.
Yeah, since it's a slow firing weapon, I try to hit the shots.
Yeah.
So yeah,
oh my god, they're right here.
I basically dropped down. I kind of forget that I even had a fight here in the first place. But then this is the guy that killed me earlier, and he's like, what the fuck? I kill him with a pistol while he has like a full weapon, which is kind of embarrassing for him.
And there you go. You got everything.
And then you just get all the shit instantly.
You know what's crazy is that you hit fired all of that, and I think 90% of the bullets actually hit, which is what you need to take them down.
Well, pistol hip fire is pretty good.
I mean, that's
not
pretty
the deagle.
large. I mean, at that range, no, not the deagle, but at this range, it's like perfect range. If he was
the deagle hip fire is terrible, but this one is all right.
If he was back 2 steps more, I feel like you would have missed way more shots and probably got killed. For sure. I also like the idea that when you come back, you have 2 armor plates. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, you should have armor on spawn. I think it's a great idea. Again, like the issue that I had with PUBG and other BRs is you're just so naked in the beginning, and someone gets an assault rifle and you don't. Just that's not anything on your skill level or your talent or anything. That's just luck, and then they just instantly delete you. Having armor or some sort of health buffer gives you a chance to either run away or get a different weapon or reposition. I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, it makes the game just less annoying. I think they, again, like you said, I think they just went through all the BRs and like, well, let's make an annoying list on the chalkboard and put not annoying. And these are all the annoying things. How do we move that annoying thing over to the not annoying thing? And this is probably on that list. Good on them for having that. I agree with you, man, for sure. I think I had another clip for you. Let's see which one. Oh, this was the this is your stats statistic stuff. Here's this one here. 7, by the way, which is your a clan you just joined here. This was pretty funny.
Oh my god.
Let's see what happened here.
Oh my god, these idiots. These geniuses.
I jumped out. Oh my god, man.
This is while I was down.
This is the best team I've ever had.
Hopefully we win the gulag, bro. I didn't know.
Who was that? Who did that to you?
That was Kyle and Perks.
Kyle?
I won.
This is 7, ladies and gentlemen.
I have 2 rounds left.
That was entertaining. Oh, there's this other feature in Gulag where you can throw rocks, and people have apparently actually gotten kills with it.
Oh, really? Oh, no, yeah, I've seen that.
You can throw the rocks, and it can stun the person you hit and slightly damage them.
Man, that was good. But yeah. Anyway, I had some other just clips stuff here real quick. Not really like Modern Warfare, more Call of Duty, I guess. Let's see. Okay, so this was crazy. This is not a Call of Duty. This was a Battlefield 5 clip that I wanted to show everybody here real fast. This is the player base of Battlefield 5 right now is just insane. Like, look at this.
Shit. What?
Oh, this.
What the fuck? How am I alive?
What is this? It's like, I'm just like speechless.
I personally like. Oh, hold on, let's play the rest of the clip here. Yeah, you end up getting smoked by that Madsen, which is crazy. And think about 0-3 against that guy, dude. By the way,
rough.
This part, right? Let's see if I can find it. Okay.
Someone stares at me and just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that guy like was shooting at somebody else.
Yeah.
But then this guy here on the right, like, was so freaked out he shot his own friendly here.
Oh, he did?
He's
That's
like
funny. I didn't see
looking
that.
at him. He's like looking at him. He's like, "Why are you shooting me?"
Oh my god! Wow.
You see that?
Wow.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Know what the other guy
where
was
the
looking
hell.
at. Yeah, everyone's like, "Why are you shooting your gun?" The other guy looked at him. This is kind of like a cascading event. Yeah, really funny. Good old Battlefield player base, man. It's just amazing. Let's see.
Back when I had a screen behind me. Wow.
Oh, was this a green screen or is this?
No, it's just a slide screen, like a black screen. I just put it.
Oh, I see.
Because I mean, looking at the background of my room right now, it's just a bunch of shit in the background. Like,
of that beautiful wallpaper, man. How, Chad? Do you love the wallpaper?
That's not me. That's whatever the landlord did.
I love it, dude. You're in the East Coast, right?
Yeah, New York.
New York. Oh shoot. Yeah. How's things going over there? How's the weather over there anyway?
Somehow I don't have coronavirus yet.
Oh, good. Yeah, don't go outside. Stay right in here. Stream. Play Battlefield.
Like at the center for it.
We'll be completely fine if you just stay inside. Don't shake anyone's hand.
Right. Yeah. quit working. Just stream full time.
There you go.
Avoid the virus.
Absolutely.
From Buffalo. Yeah, I'm in the city, dude.
Nice. Great Abroad, thanks for the host earlier on. Thank you for all the hosts. Shit, welcome guys. How's it going? We're doing the Battlefield Show episode number 22 here with Deltara. This is a weekly Battlefield show, Battlefield talk show. If you guys are interested in watching more of these, I have these almost every week and every Saturday to be exact at 8 p.m. Pacific time. If you guys like this kind of I don't know, like stuff, you can definitely follow the channel. I can't talk right now. Anyway, Deltara, here's another clip of you messing around with the Type 2A.
Oh, I remember this.
On Battlefield. Let's see.
Disgusting, dumb game. No recoil.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Did you see that?
Oh baby.
Did you see how I tried to throw that grenade 2 times?
Live outside
and
Philly?
it threw it.
Oh damn. I'm from outside Philly actually.
Has Julian seen my 5-person 1 mag clip? I don't know, man. Jesus, look at these guys. Gas mask and shit. Oh my
Like I'm from the suburbs of Philadelphia actually.
Here's another one here.
Oh, this was a hot one.
Oh.
Easy.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure why you went for that guy, but I like the title too.
I go for a lot of things.
Running Deltara too. I love that.
Yeah. Running silent. What a meme.
Wow. Yeah. You guys ever hear back from that crazy man?
If we do, it'll probably be a different account and he won't talk ever because he doesn't want to give away his voice.
God. All right, here's first part of it. Man, the Type 2A. This is pre.
This is when it just came out, and I was like testing it and seeing how overpowered it was and having fun with it.
Do you even know there was a guy in the middle there?
I'm hacking.
I didn't know. It was just all like instinct.
I'm
Like
just hacking.
I think I thought there were 2 people. But somehow, because you see, I flicked to the already dead guy afterwards, like because I think he's still alive. Because that's when I processed that he was even there. Like I flicked to him again, even though he's already dead.
And that's the dirty 1200 RPM, right?
I'm hacking.
Yeah, it's a broken weapon, still broken.
Definitely. Did we watch this one again? Live footage. Oh no. This one's bad. Oh man.
Oh, this is me.
I'm so fucked.
Me blowing it.
Rip ZK. Yep.
Who
Exactly.
knows the first shot?
Oh my god,
Yep.
this guy's right here.
It's awkward.
He's blowing it. I let myself die to that, dude.
Terrible. How terrible. And we have a question.
No one
From
saw.
Tombstone.
Was that Frontlines?
Yeah, it was Frontlines.
Oh my god, I missed it.
Yeah.
All right, question. Tombstone. 1. Is it time for BF to up the player count to scale with the map size? Oh man. You know what? I don't think they can because of the consoles, man. Yeah, the engines and the consoles. Dude, maybe in the future, like the next Battlefield game, for sure. I mean, look what Call of Duty's doing now, cross-platform. Everything's being normalized. Absolutely, 100%. But when it comes to player count, it's again, I think it's mostly consoles, and I think it's just going to get better. It's going to get bigger, larger, and whatever works for their game. And Battlefield is a large scale, first person shooter. Like it should be higher than 64. It's like we've been stuck in the past for years. There should be maybe different game modes that accompany more players. I mean, isn't Firestorm a good enough example? I mean, there you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would have made it 120 or higher if they could. They just obviously cannot. So.
And here comes in Warzone with rumors of 200. Just insane.
They were talking about that for Blackout. to have 200.
Yeah.
They did 100 in Blackout, I believe, for a little bit.
A lot of people theorized that the netcode wouldn't hold up, and 150 would be a shit show because the ground war netcode was kind of iffy. But I haven't personally experienced that many issues in Warzone, like occasional packet loss, but it was mostly on a server basis, not like an intermittent thing.
Second part of the question, would you like to see a surrender or mercy option? Oh man, again, these are all old school options that we had in the past. It was even a meme in BF1, I believe. I'm not
surrender option.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
for the team to surrender.
Yeah. So in Battlefield 4, if you typed in !! surrender, you can, if you had enough votes from the rest of your team, you can actually go to the next map. It'll stop that map and then go to the next one.
Was that the game or was that a server script?
It was a server
like a third-party
script.
thing.
Third-party server script.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I think that like if they actually institute an RSP system, then admins could go crazy with the scripts, but they're not going to do that.
No. I guess they just want full control of their servers, and who knows what they're going to do for Battlefield 6. I wouldn't really bank on a crazy rental server program anytime more in the future. I don't know why. It just, I feel like it's a wrong decision, and maybe they should up their security on certain things when it comes to cheating. So maybe that's why they kind of ran away from that. I don't know. But yeah, surrender was surrender is a good idea. It really kept the pace going. And then once you in BF4, what was cool is once you go to the next map, it'll shuffle everybody around and you'll have like a totally brand new game. It'll auto balance everybody, and if the admin wanted to balance further, they could. So again,
and nonsensically, the teams don't really change much from game to game.
Nah, it was one of the big problems. It was one of the big problems in BF1. But now it's worse in every way because there's no team balancer at all in this game.
Yeah, and they got rid of the skill metric, which also probably is why they got rid of team balancing, because it was based on the skill metric.
Yeah, exactly. It's all a big shit show right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll see a team balancer come for Battlefield, but with this coronavirus stuff, we're probably not going to see any.
I give it a few months
for a while. Yeah, a few months for sure. Definitely not next month. No way. Should Battlefield stay with longer rounds with more tickets, or should they go short? Again, this all is answered through RSP. All these issues can be admin driven, and it would all be fixed by a decent rental server program with decent tools, and that should answer pretty much all your questions except for the first one. That the whole map size, I think you just blame console on that one for sure. But yeah. Anyway, let's talk about your clans here. Angels of Deltara is coming up here. I'm seeing AOD tags everywhere, and I found it funny. Any Angels of Deltara in the chat? Welcome.
We got Brad. We got who else? We got Lafion.
You got Lafi, Brad.
Yeah, Angels of Deltara is a very prestigious organization. In fact, there's an imposter clan out there called Angels of Death. We're gonna sue them.
Imposters.
Yeah, it's just a shame that they would take the same clan tag.
You guys got to get verified because
we're gonna trademark and sue, and we're gonna win millions of dollars. It's gonna be great.
Did you know that some platoons are actually verified by DICE?
What?
Yeah, so Angels of Death is verified as
like what
legitimate
benefits?
Like they have a Twitter check mark on there. I'm not even joking.
Oh, what the fuck? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys got to get one of those.
Does that mean anything?
It just means you're verified by DICE. They recognize you as an official clan or something like that. Yeah, Toxic needs to get on there. Jesus, what are you guys doing, dear lads? You gotta get verified.
Yeah, I think there's a disconnect. I don't see a lot of like interaction between DICE and us. Like Toxic Slam streamer Twitch communities.
It was a BF1 community project.
Oh, gotcha.
This was ported. The whole platoon system that they made was
Oh, yeah,
ported
it's
from
not even-
BF1 over to this game, and that they had that verified in BF1, so it kind of just like went over. But yeah, I don't think they may have not given out more verification check marks to other clans. I don't know,
Right.
but it's all kind of funny, really. And then you also join for your competitive league 7. You join
Yeah, 7.
VII as the boomers call it, right?
Yeah. Or V11 as some random people in
V11.
chat say. Yeah, 7. It was a great honor to be chosen by them. They're a great group of people. I don't know, people here know Shira and Vivid, Casual, Fate. I'm probably gonna forget someone and they're gonna be offended.
Oh, I know them quite well, especially from their toxic behavior in BF1, just murdering those freaking domination servers.
So they got started in BF1.
Yeah.
And they sort of have a similar background to me in that BF1 was their first serious shooter. And 7 is mostly about, like, we're kind of try hard, but we're try hard in a fun way. Does that make sense?
Hey, you gotta win,
like,
man.
We're not going to be, like, we enjoy try harding, but we're not going to be the type of people to, like, scream at each other about, you know, oh, you fucked up. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's more about the learning experience. Like, we're trying to get better. Like with Warzone, we're all playing Warzone. It's a lot of fun.
Warzone.
Everyone's really chill, but also we're trying to win. Usually works out that we generally have like the instinct to like do the right thing, you know, push here. We don't necessarily have to be sweating in our comms.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's chill tryharding, I guess is how I would describe it.
Have you guys been on the leaderboards like for wins in Warzone?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't checked the leaderboards. I have 5 wins personally. I don't know if it does group wins. But
I would think
we
it's
usually
all
play pretty
wins,
well.
I think.
Yeah, personal wins. I have 5. They
It's
have
tough,
probably
dude.
more because they've been playing it more than me actually. Because I didn't stream the past 2 days.
I
But
see.
there's this other thing, the Call of Duty app, which we're part of the platoon on the app, and the app has challenges in itself that we've won, I think, like 3 in a row.
What is this app again? What is this?
The Call of Duty mobile app.
Oh my god! I didn't know
So,
about that. Not the right idea.
Let's see if I can.
Did you
see
guys
if
know
I
about
can
this?
show it.
So like you can earn rewards of some sort?
Yeah, so you get like XP tokens and like calling cards as a reward. It's
Oh.
just I'm trying to load it right now.
COD companion app. Oh, okay. It's free, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's just tracking you on the game.
Get with the times, bro. Shut up, dude. I'm stuck in Battlefield.
We're kind of all playing Warzone now, but
Battlefield Earth.
you know, there's a weekly tournament. I don't know if this will be visible.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a weekly tournament. You can see there's like first, second, third, and 7 won that. I don't know, 3 times in a row versus other people. It was, you know, stuff like, you know, most flags capped or most kills or something like that.
That's cool. So is that pretty much the future right now? Is Call of Duty? What about multiplayer? You guys play that
For
as well?
7? Yeah, right now we're all playing Warzone. Everyone mostly moved from Battlefield 5 to Modern Warfare, playing Search and Destroy and Hardpoint, which is the CDL playlist, the Call of Duty League playlist. Call of Duty League has its own set of rules, like there's certain banned perks and weapons and that sort of thing, and it's a separate type of playlist that you can play in multiplayer. So you can play versus other people using the rule set of Call of Duty League. That's usually what we do.
I see. Okay, cool. One of the last things I wanted to talk about was just like your overall thoughts on streaming and your, you know, the setup you have, computer, all the tech you put into it. How's that been? You say you started in Battlefield 1, right?
Yes. 1 sec, sorry.
No problem. Ooh, sneaky snake.
I'm just setting up my camera. Okay. Yeah, I did start. Thank you, Siri. No, shut up. Thanks. So Yeah, I started BF1. So I don't know if you know.
Oh baby.
I
10
I
out of 10.
was playing BF1. I was innocent and using a 60 hertz monitor, 4K, all about the immersion and the experience.
Oh baby.
And I decided to try to get good. I ran into a guy playing called Fraggrass TV. You guys probably know him. And
RDM, right? RDM.
I had never used Twitch before. I didn't have like I had an account, but I never really used it. And saw he was streaming, and one of my motivations was I would start to get accused of cheating a lot, and I kind of enjoyed that as an ego
Hell
boost.
yeah.
And so I started to stream as a not only as like a way to plug myself and say like, oh no, well you can check me out, I'm not cheating. But also I started to make friends with the RDM guys, Team Random, play with them a lot, and Frag was really helpful setting up my stream, and then just started to meet
sweet.
people. And yeah, that was around last February. Yeah, that's when I started. And I did Battlefield 1 all through until September. And then I switched to Battlefield 5. And it's been great. Honestly, the people have been the best part. Our whole community here, the Battlefield community. I first, encountered in your stream lounge, Ender's community, and well, everything sort of overlaps. We all know each other.
Yeah.
Some of the most chill, cool people I've ever met online, and it's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah, the stream lounge. I hope it's a good tool for finding people you like to hang out with, and
yeah,
all the clips and highlights on there. Feel free to post them on there. It's a stream lounge for all streamers for any game really. We're just most of us, we all met each other via Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, and now it's kind of focusing more on Call of Duty. So you might see some Warzone clips here and there. And yeah, it's just a great way to pretty much meet the Battlefield streaming community. And we're like fucking everyone's on there now at this point.
And
so
everyone plays
it's
like
fun.
more than just Battlefield now. It's just a lot of FPS players in general.
Yeah, mostly FPS. Not too much Minecraft, but they're every once in a while we'll see some of you play that game. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all the topics I want to talk to you about, and I learned a lot with Call of Duty Warzone. I'm definitely gonna be playing that quite a bit. Zafara is a Minecrafter. Okay, yeah, right. That's where I watch most of those clips from you.
Yeah,
thank you for sharing.
Modded Minecraft especially.
But yeah, I just want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. All the again, I'm sorry for the late response. Freaking OBS really tanked on me. I don't know what happened with that, but we still did the show, and I'm glad everyone was here to watch with me. And then freaking Deltara was here to come in. You can also check him out on Twitch and on Twitter. !guest will give you all the links you would need for Deltara if you want to go check him out. I believe Deltara, you're gonna be streaming right after this show, right?
I'm about to get going right after this.
Hell yeah. So follow him on Twitch. He's gonna be streaming. We're gonna go raid him. So Deltara, feel free to start up your stream right now, and we'll raid you over there and have a good time. Okay. But yeah,
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you for coming by. Everyone, hey, thanks for the follows, all the gifted subs. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna go hang out with Deltara. I'll see y'all then. Have a good night, everybody. Bye bye now.